February 14th, 2018 is a day that forever changed South Florida, the Broward School District, and the way public schools statewide protect their students. Now, 6 months after the tragedy at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, students there and throughout the district have started a new school year under tighter security and with stricter procedures in place mandated by new state law. The Broward School District has spent the summer training personnel for the Armed Guardians program, hiring additional school resource officers, and installing new safety equipment, all under the glare of the results of a report on how the district handled shooter Nicholas Cruz's mental and behavioral issues while he was a student. Joining me now to talk about all of this, plus a referendum on the August 28th ballot for higher teacher pay, is Broward School Superintendent Robert Runcie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here, Pam. Thank you.
Great to have you. So back to school now. Give us your sense of how everything went as the students went back to class, district-wide and especially at Marjory Stoneman Douglas.
District-wide, I think we had a very good day. I want to commend all of our staff, everyone from our custodians to our facilities crew, to our food service workers, teachers, everyone that worked to prepare to make sure that yesterday was very welcoming and a very positive experience for 271,000 students who came back. But it was also a bitter, sweet moment because, yes, it's 6 months after the tragedy in February. Feels like it was just yesterday for many of us on some days. And so that, I spent some time at the school, a lot of mixed emotions there. But I think overall, the students, the faculty, they were all, I think, happy to be with each other. It's a family there. And I think being around your family can help you through the healing process. There are many students and teachers that continue to struggle, but we've put in, I think, a significant amount of resources and supports to help everyone at the school and throughout the community, and we'll continue to do that for the foreseeable future.
Let's talk about those security upgrades that we mentioned at the top of the show that went into place at MSD. Let's talk about some of them. And one of the things going into the school year that was talked about during the summer were the metal detectors. Then you pulled back on that. No clear backpacks. We saw the students with those clear backpacks right after the shooting. But talk about some of the things that are in place now going into this school year. And one of the biggies is the 3 school resource officers on campus, as well as some of those armed guardians. Talk a little bit about that.
So we've actually doubled the number of school security staff on the campus from 9 to 18. Previously, we had 1 school resource officer, 8 security staff. Those security staff are the security specialists and campus monitors. We now have 3 school resource officers, and we have another 16 school security staff. So we've doubled the amount of resources there. We've upgraded the camera systems at the schools. We've added a significant number of additional surveillance cameras throughout the school. We've enhanced the single point of entry. We actually put in a whole new intercom system at the school, upgraded a 20-year-old system that was there as well. We've put in badge ID readers for faculty at the school as well. We have instituted protocols where everyone, including all students, faculty, visitors, are to wear appropriate identification. We have installed additional fencing around the school as well. And so there's a lot of different measures that we have put in place. We've replaced the locks on all the doors in the school, so they lock automatically.
Right? Yeah.
We have pages of things that we've implemented. In addition to that, we have recognized the impact that not having the 1,200 building available, and so we did an accelerated project that would normally take 6 months or longer. Staff and facilities worked very hard with our vendors. We were able to get the 34 portable classrooms in operation by the first day of school, so teachers and students would be available to them. In addition to all of some of the things that you can see, there are other security measures that are not readily visible. There are also mental health support services we put in place within Marjory Stoneman Douglas and the Stoneman Douglas zone. We've staffed 28 additional family counselors, therapists, social workers,
And you have
school
therapy dogs
counselors.
you said you're going to have on campus?
We also have therapy dogs on campus. Again, we've actually created 2 wellness centers that are staffed with clinicians where students and even staff can go and get support. We've even created a space for students to be able to get quiet time should they need it. I continue to meet with victims of survivors of the shooting, those that have been injured. We have taken some of their input. We're providing additional services to them. So, for example, we have a dedicated advocate for them on campus that will work with them, make sure that we're communicating effectively with their parents.
That people are getting the help that they need.
Right, but I could go on in terms of what we've been doing now. That's Stoneman Douglas.
Yeah.
We have 233 other schools in the county.
Well, I was going to ask you about the other districts. Yeah, because if I'm a parent of a child that's at another school or another high school, I want to know that my school is secure as well.
And it's our responsibility to make sure that happens. So district-wide, we have continued to work to make sure that we're fulfilling the goal of having a armed security school resource officer or an armed guardian or security staff at each and every campus. We've upgraded camera systems at every single school in Broward County, which we have over 10,000 cameras. The school board recently authorized us to install another 2,500 across the district as well. We are continuing to move forward on our accelerated goal of completing single point of entry for every school in Broward County. We'll have that completed by the end of this school year, first quarter 2019, the latest. So
tell us about the armed security guardians as well, because there was an issue with getting enough folks on campuses, that you actually had to reach out to the municipalities and ask for help with some of the local law enforcement agencies, right?
So, yeah, we had those conversations early on toward the end of the school year. So our preference and the school board's preference is to have a school resource officer, law enforcement personnel on each and every one of our campuses. As we started into this process, began to have conversations locally with our municipal partners and law enforcement agencies, it became very clear that there wasn't sufficient capacity there. Just in Broward County alone, the number of vacancies to be filled are somewhere around 300 or more. So we knew we needed to do something different. The school board then authorized us to go and engage in an armed guardian program. However, we defined the armed guardian program in a way that we're going to get highly qualified individuals who have prior law enforcement or military background and experience. We put them through 132 hours worth of training through the sheriff's office. We also provide another 12 hours of diversity training.
So they're well trained, well vetted before they get on the campus.
They're well vetted, and we can only train somewhere around 20, 25 at a time. So we've always planned to have multiple cohorts going through the entire fall to get where we need to be.
It'll take time.
So we knew we'd have to supplement that. The third option was to basically go to our municipalities, law enforcement agencies, and work out arrangements to engage their officers in overtime or extra duty details. So we've had that conversation. A fourth option, which we have put on the table as well, was we have about 20 detectives that we have within the school district who primarily do investigations. We would deploy them as necessary. So we knew there would be multiple paths in order to get there in the short term. And that's what we're doing. It's all hands on deck. We've ensured that every school's covered, and we'll continue to have individuals going through the Guardian program. The second cohort of Guardians started this week. It'll end on September 8th or 9th. And then the third cohort will start we continue to take applicants. It's a very rigorous process. You've got to go through background checks,
Right.
psychological checks, training. So, we start out with 200.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take some time.
Let me move on. I want to ask you about the report that came out that was conducted by the Collaborative Education Network of Tallahassee about Nicholas Cruz's tenure as a student, looking at his time as a student, his mental health and behavioral health and how that was handled. Basically, the district was not held culpable for Cruz's actions following this report. They said there were a couple of instances where maybe procedure wasn't followed and it encouraged the district to change its procedures. What is your thought on the final result of that report? Because Cruz's defense attorneys have called it a whitewash. They're saying that somebody should be culpable for this.
Well, this again, I'm trying to find solutions on how we can move forward. So I'm not going to get into that as much as what's our takeaways from this. And as you asked the question, I think about three things. One is we recognize their services and things that we were providing and delivering to this student in compliance with the law, and I think in many cases even going above it and beyond. The second takeaway is that there were a couple instances that were identified where we need to provide additional training and direction to staff so that they can pursue other options and alternatives in situations that may come up in the future that are similar to what we saw in this case. And the third is that we identified a number of recommendations that have been provided through this report, primarily around staff training, integrating systems and data that we're absolutely going to pursue. We're going to take those, we're going to prioritize them, we're going to create a list and an implementation schedule, and we're going to fund some of these things as we move forward. And yes.
I want to get to the referendum before we run out of time. So let's talk about this referendum that's coming up on the ballot. What are you asking the taxpayers to support?
I'm asking the taxpayers to, and let me just give some quick context. The context is that Florida has one of the lowest per student funding models in the United States, where $7,400 per student. National average is almost at $12,000. When the last year's legislative session started, it was about $152 increase proposed per student. When the session ended, we got 47 cents. We went from $152 to 47 cents. We also saw some additional changes in the legislation. The net effect is we started off with minus $16.75 per student in Broward County, several $1 million deficit going into a year where we're facing a lot of challenges. And so we made significant cuts in administrative operations in the district, did everything we can without touching the classroom. I think we cut about $16 million. So that balanced our budget. However, we can't just function at our teachers in this county. Our safety goals require additional investment. So this referendum, which is a $500,000 referendum, it's on the August 28th ballot. It's the only referendum on the ballot. It's the last item there. It will generate approximately $93 million that will provide resources to do three things. First, secure additional school resource officers and school safety personnel. Number two, it will allow us to hire, retain, and attract teachers, basically increase and improve teacher pay. And third, it will allow us to invest in counselors, social workers, behavior specialists to address the mental health needs of our kids.
Superintendent Robert Runcie, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Got to a lot of information today.
Yes.
And if you would like to comment on anything that we spoke about today, you can always go to our Facebook page @YourSouthFL. It's always there for you to comment on what we have discussed or to ask any questions, and we always appreciate your time.